Hi, welcome to In the Kitchen with your host, Zesty Chef Z. That's right, I am back. And today we are going to talk about this piece of equipment right here. This is a Hobart mixer. Now the Hobart is the brand name. Now this is just an awesome piece of equipment. I can't stress that enough. I'm almost speechless. Okay, this has actually been around since I was in school here. So this is over 30 years old. Okay, actually more than 30, probably close to 35 years old. And this is still working perfectly because the teachers and students have taken care of it. Okay, so if you take good care of your equipment, you keep it clean, it will last you quite a while. Now this mixer is a mixer that is a floor model. Now it actually has a good sized bowl. This is a 40 quart mixer. Okay, now as you can tell, there's a bar here, and I have a couple of handles here that lock into the bracket. And I have two lift-off handles here that will work just perfectly to lift things out. So if you actually take a look, I do have some things here that I have a bracket where this bracket goes into, and I have two hinges that will actually secure the bowl into place. Okay, just like so. And I'm moving the handles to secure it. Okay, so this way this bowl is secure. Okay. Now, there's a couple attachments for this mixer. One is a paddle, okay? Now this is good for mashing potatoes, mashing anything, stirring, which is a good one. Okay, this can actually stir things very nicely. Now we do have to scrape our bowl down in proper mixers, and we will show you that later. But this will pretty much mash anything. Now the reason why I said mashed potatoes on this is because this one is a wire whip. Now you think of whipped potatoes, but this is a thin tined whip. Okay, they do have one out there with thicker tines that's used for potatoes, but right now I just use the paddle for it. But this is for whipped cream and meringues and frosting and things like that that you want to whip air into. Now, if I put mashed potatoes in here and started mashing that up, it would actually bend these tines and be very useless to us. Now I have to purchase another one. Okay, so this is for light aired items. Okay, this is a dough hook. Kind of reminds you of Peter Pan, doesn't it? But this is for kneading dough. This is a great time saver. That way you don't have to knead it on this bench right here. We can actually let the machine do it. Okay. Now to properly put this on is if you actually take a look, this paddle has a round, but it actually has an extra notch on it. Now on the post right here, this will actually go, and you can see where the post is right here. It actually just slides it up, and I'll actually twist it until it stops, and then bring that down. Now that is actually locked into place, okay? So I am actually good to go to use this paddle. Now, as you can tell, I have nothing that's on me that's loose that this mixer can grab, okay? Now, if you actually take a look at the display modules, I am on speed 1. I do have 3 speeds here, 2 and 3, okay? I have a start button and a big red stop button, okay? I also have a timer for this, and just in case I want to set a timer for the mixer, it will actually do just that, and it will stop at a certain amount of time. Right now, I do have it on hold, so it will just run, okay? So what I'm going to do is bring the bowl up, okay? Now I get a little resistant right here, but this will actually click to actually get me into the lock position. So right now that bar and that arm will not move, okay? Now, during this, this is a manual transmission. And what I mean by that is that you have to have this machine completely stopped before you change gears. Now at a different place I was working, we actually had an automatic transmission where I actually had to shift gears while the machine was running, okay? But for this model, you have to make sure you stop it, then change gears, and then hit continue. Now, I'm going to turn it on just to show you, okay? Now again, this machine will not know if you are a human. Okay, so if I stick my hand in there or slip something in there like a rubber spatula, a wooden spoon, it will take it and just keep going. okay? This is a machine that will, again, not realize what it has in it. It's just doing its job by spinning around and around and around with the different utensils that it has, okay? So I'm going to stop it, okay? Now the newer models have cages on it that have magnetic sensors that will allow it, if you actually just touch the fencing on it, the cage, it'll actually stop it pretty quickly. But you have to, again, be very careful. I do not want you taking a rubber spatula while this is running and scraping the sides. I want you to do a complete stop before you start it back off. And what I want to do is just show you what speed 3 can do. Okay, watch how fast this goes. That is extremely fast. This can do some major damage. Imagine if that got a hold of your apron, or some hair, or even your arm. Okay? You have to respect the equipment. Okay? Now, before you even start this machine, check the speed. And that's on any machine that you do. Okay? Always make sure it is on speed 1 before you start. Imagine if we filled this up with heavy whipping cream, because we were making whipped cream for a large party. Okay, so this thing was half full. We put the whip attachment in and we started whipping, but somebody left on speed 3, we didn't check it. And all of a sudden we started and it went that fast, the heavy whipping cream would be everywhere in this kitchen. It would be a very messy cleanup, a waste of product, and somebody could actually get hurt. Okay. So what I want to do now is touch base a little bit on the attachment for this machine. So right now I'm going to put the bowl all the way down, unhook my panel, take my bowl piece off, lift this up, put this off to the side. The next one I want to show you is the meat grinder. Okay, this is the hub for the meat grinder. Okay, this actually fits into this top portion here, locks into place. I'm going to turn the key until it's just snug. Don't over tighten it, guys, that's not zesty. Okay. Now I have the auger that fits into this. Now this has a square inlet that actually goes all the way into the mixer and clicks into place. Okay. Next I have a blade. Now please be careful of handling this. This is extremely sharp. This actually cuts all the meat up against this die. Now there's several different dies you can buy. This one actually is a medium die. There's ones with smaller holes, larger holes, and extremely large holes, just in case you wanted to add like chunks of apple or chunks of cheddar to sausage. It allows a lot more things to pass through as a whole. Okay. So right now I'm going to put the blade in. Again, be very careful. It's very sharp. It is square, so it fits right on that auger. And then I have a little notch right here with the die that will fit right here onto the machine, and that'll click into place also. I have this big nut that's got some good handles on it. We're actually just going to take that and turn it on. Okay, again, this is just till it's snug. Do not be that kind of zesty guy that wants to crank on it. Be zesty and just do it till it's snug. Alright? Now I also have my food tray over here, and that goes right into the housing. And this is my food plunger. So I can actually take all my meats and ingredients, put them in here, put them into the hole. Do not stick your fingers in here. Do not stick a wooden spatula or a wooden spoon down here or a spatula down here. The auger does not know what it has in there. So you want to use the food plunger. So we grab this safely by the handle, and we want to plunge that meat into there and extrude it out here. Now one attachment that I want to show you I'm not going to hook up is actually the sausage stuffer. This will actually go on before the big nut goes on, and we can actually make sausage from this machine. Now we don't need this if we're just making like regular meatloaf or a force meat, which we can make galantines, pâtés, things like that that we can actually grind through this. Okay, we can even make hot dogs if we wanted. Okay, but this is our sausage stuffer. This allows us to put the casings on and then actually tie it and then extrude the force meat through this to make our sausage. Okay. Now all this stuff is hand wash bowling. Okay. Anything that's stainless steel can be run through the machine. Now this housing, the auger, this nut, and even the blades I hand wash. The reason for that is because if we run this through the dish machine, it'll actually get kind of sooty. It'll actually go like this, and it'll leave a black smear on your thumb, and that eventually transfers to the food. So you'll have to buy a new piece, okay? The other piece of attachment I want to show you is our kind of like our food processor kind of. So this is exactly fits right into here again. Okay, we want to turn the key, okay, until it's snug. Okay. Now this is actually a grater. This has our medium grates on it, and they come with large grates, small grate, and then we also have a Parmesan cheese grater, which has a lot of sharp teeth on it. Okay. Now we also have our thing here, so we're going to stick this. Now we also have one that has a blade on it that you could use as well. It looks the same, it just has an adjustable blade on it. Now this actually goes right into the hole here. I have a safety switch here that we're going to lift up. It's going to secure in there. We're going to push that back down so it's secured. And then this is our protection right here against the blade. We're going to fit that right here, close it. Then you should hear a nice snap, and it's locked. Okay. Now this is where we actually push the food through. Okay. Do not stick your hand in here while the disc is moving. Okay, the mixer will keep going. It will not know what our hands are in. Okay, if you need to add another chunk of cheese or a piece of vegetable, you can do so from over here. Do not reach into this. Use the plunger to feed the machine. So you're going to use the plunger that keeps our hands out of harm's way so we don't cut ourselves. Okay, now all this stuff is hand washable. Every single piece on here is hand wash only. Now some restaurants may have different policies, but this is my policy. Okay, so I only hand wash these items. Now concerning the key, these are very expensive and get lost very easily. So what I want you to do is after every use of the meat grinder or the food processor attachment, I want you to screw the key all the way down. Okay, just until it's snug, until it hits the bottom part of the mixer. Okay, now when we wash, rinse, and sanitize this, we just use hot soapy water. I do not use a scrubby on this. Everything that we use and we clean, it should come off fairly easy. Now the only thing that I want you to really pay attention to is when you're cleaning, is to make sure you get the arm really good and underneath here. Now even though that we don't see splatters, they do happen. Now this is crucial because this area underneath here gets lots of splatters, and you may not even know it, but you need to clean it. If you don't clean up those splatters, it starts to grow mold, which can contaminate our food, which will infect our guests. And also, any leftover food on here can also attract bugs, and we don't want that. Okay? So you need to make sure you clean all the way around. Backsplash, all the way around. Okay? All over. Okay, so you're going to wash it, you're going to rinse it, then you're going to sanitize it. Okay, now that is it. So I want you to be zesty to everybody and have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Be zesty, everybody.